Hey guys, welcome to How I Would Have Written. Now, before I start this video, I would mention that rewriting a movie isn't an original idea by me. In fact, a ton of YouTubers have already done it. Indian cinema releases a lot of movies every year. While a few of them click with the audiences, many of them goes unnoticed because of being absolute shit. But some movies are inches away from being a good movie to watch. It is either because of a plot twist, terrible writing, or Bollywood comes to its senses. And because I have to be famous like these guys, I am Shravan Bansal and this is how I would have written the ending of Bahubali 2. Now, Bahubali 2 was pretty much perfect. First part was a nice fairy tale romance turning into a story of a man finding his own identity, ending with a stupendous cliffhanger that could generate a lot of bucks for this guy. The anticipation for the sequence was unmatched, and the question that the audience wanted to be answered for 2 years finally got answered. In, by the way, a glorious death scene. Now, the only thing that was left to be answered was an amazing revenge climax, which was. Now, the movie was written by KV Vijendra Prasad, who happens to be SS Rajamouli's father, a man who also wrote these films. So, with all due respect, I'll do it by myself. So I will keep everything in the movie before the climax exactly how it was, with a slight change. When Katappa completes the entire story about death of Bahubali Senior, Bahubali Junior, instead of bursting out in anger and attacking Maheshmati at the exact point without any strategy, tells Katappa to gather everyone from Maheshmati and then get ready for a war for which they plan at the night. Because even though they had the rebels, it doesn't make sense that years of struggle, which made them wear weird costumes and creepy masks, and gain nothing. So he plans with Katappa, the rebels, and other soldiers to attack Maheshmati the following day, while Bhallal Dev gazes across the battlefield on the main gates of Maheshmati, waiting for a son who never returned, and he becomes more scared that neither Katappa or Devsena have returned back to the kingdom. He is also a bit worried about seeing a brother he killed years ago, which we saw in the first part. So, this transitions to the next morning when he gets alerted by some soldiers that many villagers left the kingdom last night, which makes him that much more skeptical that something is wrong, and he alerts the troops. Now, everything that happened when Ballaldev and his father got shocked by seeing Devsena till him taking away Devsena back to Maheshmati remains the same because he only came outside the castle to take her back. So now, instead of Bahubali having the genius idea of turning himself and a bunch of men in their 50s or even 80s to a tree ride, Bahubali asks Katappa desperately of whether there is a secret tunnel or something to get inside the castle, but Katappa refuses. Then Bahubali asks him that what can be done, and Katappa drops his weapon, sits down, and hangs his head in shame. Following him, other soldiers or even some of the rebels do the same, as they have lost their hope again. But Bahubali refuses to sit and starts thinking, but he can't figure out anything. And then we see Bhallaldev, Bichaldev, and a bunch of their stooges with Devsena on the top of the main gates of Maheshmati. Bhallal is holding Devsena by her neck. Seeing this, all of them get shocked and get up. Bhallal Dev takes his sword and put it on Devsena's neck, which makes them scared. And then Bhallal Dev gets an idea, and he has that cheeky smile on his face. He puts his sword towards Katappa and tells him to kneel before him. Katappa looks at Bahubali. Bhallal Dev again puts his sword to Devsena's neck and threatens him to slice her throat. Katappa, with tears in his eyes, kneels down to save Devsena. Then Bhallaldev points his sword towards Bahubali and tells him to kneel down, but he shakes his head and refuses, which furiates Bijaldev, who is sitting at the back and sipping wine. He throws his glass away and pushes Bhallaldev aside and holds Devsena by her hair and bring her to the end of the wall. And one thing about Bijaldev is that in the past he is basically a master strategist. Even though he was handicapped by an arm, he was cunning. And he was sort of the reason behind all of this. And they turned him into a comedic idiot who was running around the temple when the war was happening. So he shows that he's still the psychopath who can bring Bahubalis to his knees. He holds Devsena by her hair and suddenly gets stabbed by a foot soldier. The revolution has begun from the inside. Everyone near him, Palladev and all the yes men, get shocked. But everyone outside the kingdom are unable to get what's happening. Devsena falls on the edge of the wall and is shocked herself by what just happened, and then the foot soldier starts running towards the gates. One foot soldier tries to outrun hundreds of soldiers who can capture him, but a few bunch of soldiers even try to clear his path. The soldier enters the chamber from where he can open the gates and locks himself in. Now everyone on the outside have no idea what's happening. They can't see Devsena or Dev or anyone from down there. And then suddenly the gates open and all of them pick their weapons and start to run towards the castle. Seeing all of this, Dev gets furious. He picks up Devsena and goes down to the battle, but he doesn't start attacking immediately. He comes with a few soldiers, blowing horns and peace flags, and Katappa tells Bahubali then this means that they want to talk. So Bhallaldev tells the idea of Devsena doing the ritual that Shivgami did years ago, the Agni Prasthan. Now in the movie it was Bahubali's idea that Devsena does the Agni Prasthan and Bhallaldev just agreed to it. No, Bhallaldev has a motivation. He says that the person whose body is on the pile of sticks by the end of the ritual will be burned by Devsena, even if it is her own son. He made Shivgami kill her own son. He wants history to repeat itself. Bahubali agrees to this, and the stakes get much higher. Now, in the original climax, they showed Bahubali's golden statue getting broken because of Maheshmati's balls, and Bahubali and Bhalladev's intense cuddling. Instead of this, the statue stays intact, and the rest of the fight stays exactly the same because it has some pretty good scenes. And now we come to the ending. Bahubali puts Bhallaldev on the pile of sticks while Devsena is about to burn him, but she doesn't. She looks at the statue and looks at Bhallaldev. She gets the flashback of everything that Bhallaldev made her go through, and she tells Bahubali to start following her. Bahubali pulls Bhalladev's body with the chains and he ties him with the feet of his own statue. Everyone starts picking the sticks from the pit and put it near Bhallaldev and Devsena. Finally, she burns Bhallaldev with his entire glory. So that is how I would have written Bahubali 2. Do you disagree? Put it into the comments below and subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.